rubber. Yeah. Lettuce rubber.
Welcome back to Trending on Shaw. It is Thursday, January 29th. Just some funny comments floating around the table here right as we were coming back.
A couple of college guys here on set.
Of course. So are you living in your college days, Felix?
Well, no, I had my college days before, but yeah, we're all just related.
We're taking you back. Yeah, we have all of the student presidents on our desk this morning from Mount Royal, SAIT, and U of C. And over to our left here, Eric Queenan, who's the MRU Student Association president, and also Jared Stock here, who's the SAIT president of the Student Association, and Jarrett Henry at the end here from U of C.
Just before we get into some more of the trending topics, real quickly, if somebody who's watching right now is interested in becoming a student association president, what does it take?
Time.
What does it take? Time.
It takes time, it takes preparation, because, you know, for any of our associations, you need to run in an election, which can be a pretty rigorous process. You need to, you know, your branding, your platform, your volunteers. But as far as the actual role goes, I say you only need hard work and you need commitment, because there's no personality type that defines a leader. If there was, I know I wouldn't be here, because I'm not the typical, like, crazy outgoing, you know, natural leader doing student council from elementary school. So I think those unique personality types actually bring something different to the table, which makes for great executives.
So, Eric, how did you make it then?
Honestly, I just, you really have to care about, you have to understand what the role is, and you're representing students inside of the university, outside of the university, and you're really just working for students. I just decided early on that I was really passionate. I love helping other people, and there's a lot of things where, you know, the university can improve on, and I want to be part of that process.
Nice stuff. Okay, Jared, what's happening at your university? We read this morning, this is crazy, U of C professor successfully converts lettuce into rubber. That's one of our trending topics this morning. Explain that, sir.
Well, I mean, what's
You're the guy.
Over a course of 7 years, Professor Rowe successfully turned lettuce into rubber. It's pretty exciting going one way. The other way kind of makes me question when I eat lettuce, you know, what I'm really eating. But it's an exciting advancement nonetheless. I'm not sure what the practical purpose of that will be in the short term, but that's okay. That's part of research.
Okay, we're hearing that rubber is pretty much imported here in Canada from parts of Asia. So I guess this guy is trying to say, look, if we can actually be self-sufficient, then if there's ever an issue with the rubber plants, we're good to go.
Absolutely.
Is that the kind of studying that goes on over there?
Well, you know,
these guys are laughing.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm wondering how much lettuce we'd have to grow to supply our rubber.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think in the time where we're really encouraging people to eat healthy, I think the most responsible thing to do is take vegetables and just turn them into something that's completely inedible. You know, it's a very good use of you know, time and energy at a university.
All right. Well, I'll say this in defense. There's you know, research doesn't always go exactly in a linear direction. Part of, you know, the concept of innovation is that you get things you don't expect. So, for example, penicillin, X-ray technology, both those were invented by accident. So, you know what, maybe we won't be turning lettuce into rubber as a main scale industry in Alberta, although we could use a diversified economy, I'll say that.
Hey, Jared, he's sounding like a politician. Every moment, he's sounding more and more like a politician.
He just compared X-rays to lettuce rubber.
You never know.
I mean, there's a purpose for everything. I don't discredit. I mean, that's probably years of work in the making. So, I mean,
no,
it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
So, yay.
Yeah.
We're going to be driving on lettuce tires.
Hey, there are some stranger experiments out there.
And then
so
you could get organic lettuce tires too.
Organic ones. One of the things that we are very aware this Sunday is the big Super Bowl, but a lot of folks like Jared are saying, wait a minute, consumerism is a little out of control here.
Yeah, I would go back to the segment we just had on puppy cake. Maybe fits
puppy
in
cake.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of people can, you know, use their money however they like. I mean, in a downturn economy, you know, there's a little bit more pressure on, you know, savings, doing what you want, but you still have to do what makes you happy in your downtime. So, you know, I'm not a football fan, but I do spend my money on a lot of other things other than saving for the future, I'll tell you that much. Racing dirt bikes is not a cheap hobby that I do.
Well, that's it. Eh?
Yeah.
Eric, it's the same thing too. I mean, we've got Valentine's Day, we've got Christmas, but then all of a sudden we have the Black Fridays. And then we have the Super Bowl.
Cyber Mondays. Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like we're just making up holidays to spend money on people for. I know I got a girlfriend a couple months ago, so I've been really noticing a lot more because I have to go and actually like buy a lot of presents. Well, I mean,
A couple months ago, Eric? I'm not sure what you would think about that statement.
It was 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
A handful of months ago.
All right, well, I'll let you two sort
She's
that
probably
out.
not watching. She's probably not watching. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, you have people want to spend their money, but I think it's, you have to be responsible. And I know over the last couple of years, I'm really learning how to be more careful with my money, and hope everyone can, figure that out at some point.
Well, maybe this guy is careful with his money. Let's find out. Jared Stock, who is the president at SAIT Students Association. Great to have you here this morning, kind sir. We also have asked you some of those things, the key issues that a lot of students are dealing with. The first one you say is quality education, applied education.
Yeah, so that's, the focus at SAIT is applied education. It's by far the biggest push from the top. So, for most of the programs are diploma-based, 2-year education. So people are looking to get exact experience with their education that they can use in the job field that they're going for. So, relevancy, updated curriculum, consistent is something that students are pushing for constantly at SAIT.
Yeah. And the buildings that are going up is ridiculous. I'm sure you two have actually probably gone through the SAIT campuses and said, man, these guys continue to grow.
It's actually really interesting, some of the simulators and stuff like that. I came from the petroleum program there, where we have a drilling simulator, where you can do real life well blowouts. So
no kidding.
Teaching safety on that sense, it's incredible. Like, we can teach the incoming workforce what it's like to be in a real life situation before actually getting in a real life situation. I myself have been on a drilling rig taking a kick before, so I know what it's like when your heart's pounding out of your head when it's happening. So it's really cool to be able to do that process before actually putting anybody in actual danger.
That's a major differentiation between SAIT and, of course, Mount Royal and U of C. Mm-hmm. How do you guys compete against that?
Well, I don't think we're competing at all. We're both providing, completely different services. At SAIT, they're like, all right, you guys are going to go and you're going to learn how to be a drill operator. Like, you're going to go and learn specific skills. University, it's like people just wanting to learn more about certain areas that they can go and just kind of explore that. And it's not a competition. It's just different.
Supplemented.
And you guys also work together, right? Because you can transfer quite easily from SAIT to U of C. I'm not sure about Mount Royal, but
definitely. And there's lots of joint programs too. I know even our nursing program often does collaboration with Mount Royal or with SAIT. And I think there's some things we can learn from them as well. Like, universities certainly aren't funded to be that practical applied institution, but I think some of the essentially life skills or soft skills that employers are looking for, I think it would be great if universities put more of an emphasis on that. Yeah.
And one of the other issues you highlighted, Jared, facing maybe SAIT students was networking opportunities and employment. And I went to SAIT, so I remember that there was huge emphasis on that when I was going there.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, the programs themselves are very geared towards that applied education. So one thing that's always on the student's mind is, once we get this applied education, do we have a job lined up? And
bingo.
A lot of the times there's an assumption that, you get a SAIT diploma, it automatically means you're going to get a job. So I feel like networking and employment opportunities are super important for students to focus on, especially in a time like now, where there are some areas a little bit more skeptical with the economy turning the way it is. So it's an opportunity for a student to really start building their profile while they're in school, getting involved outside of their classrooms, building those soft skills through clubs and extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities, so that their profile and their soft skills are built. And right now, I'm assuming that employers are looking for what you'd say, I guess, talented workforce rather than quantity.
Well, those employers as well too are actually advising SAIT as well too, and saying, hey, this is what we need.
Absolutely.
So that helps the industry.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. The connection between SAIT and industry, as long as, like I said, pushing for keeping that updated and relevant at all times. It gives SAIT.
It's pretty seamless through a lot of the programs too, from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing students want to see is actual face-to-face time with businesses. So what we do with student clubs is try to bring in businesses, networking opportunities, job fairs specific to that industry. And it also gives students a bit of a more at ease feeling. Right now, I'd be pushing for a lot of businesses to come directly speak to students so that they can give them the heads up on what this economy means for specific programs. Obviously the petroleum programs, energy programs, we need people to come in and say, it's either going to be bad or it's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
The tourism programs may be coming and be like, look, prices of fuel are going down, tourism's going to go up, so here's an opportunity. So it's great to see that sort of communication.
Jared Stock, President, SAIT Students Association President. Great to have you here this morning as well, too.
And we're going to go back to Lindy now, who is still training some dogs. Have you learned any tricks there, Lindy?
Yeah, so you guys are in the studio. We're over here playing with dogs. How more awesome could my job be? But so now that you have the basics down, how to get your dog's attention, what are we going to learn next?
So the next thing that we teach is the dog to lay down and stay there. So we have kind of an unconventional way of teaching that. We actually get you to sit quietly in your house and ignore your dog until they lay down, and then you just really reward them. So once they get the hang of it, then you add a cue to it so you can hear gently asking Fuzzy to relax.
Okay, so you don't say lay down, you say something else.
I say relax.
Okay, and that's just a word that you came up with to train your dog?
That's what usually we use at SIT, is the relax cue.
Okay, awesome. Okay, good, doggy. And then, so my question is, what if you are training your dog, you're trying, but you're getting frustrated, your dog's not listening? Has that happened to you?
Yes, it has. And you just need to take a step back and make it really fun and successful for your dog so that they have fun and then they want to do it, and you'll get success that way.
Okay, so don't just freak out and get mad and stop training them.
That's right. So, I mean, a dog is a living being, so they're not always going to perform. It's not always going to be perfect, but when we're in our classes, we really try to teach the handlers how to break down behaviors, really how to train things thoroughly so that we try to reduce frustration as much as we can.
Okay.
Keep things fast and fun.
All right, so now I guess everyone's just going to try to get their dogs to relax here, have a little break. So good job, Truffles. It looks like everyone's cooperating. Do you ever have like that one dog that just is the bad dog in the class?
The Lindy dog.
It just comes down to breaking things into kind of small steps and adequately motivating the dog. So often, mostly in class, we use treats because dogs like them and it's easy to break into little pieces. But a lot of dogs will find, exploring very rewarding, or toys. So mostly it's just figuring out what the dog finds rewarding and using that to motivate them to do the behaviors.
Okay, awesome. And so now that we've gotten a few basics out of the way, stay with us because we're going to appreciate our dog, do some fun things, and just kind of play with them, right? Because appreciating your dog's important.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a little bit of coming when called, and then probably let these guys play with maybe you.
Yay! I love playing with dogs. So that works good. All right, so we're here at SIT Happens in the Northeast. Stay with us because we're going to have some fun next.